So welcome to today's video. Today it is all about metallic, glitter, chameleon, flip-flop, interference, dual tone, what else? Colors. I will probably call them metallics over the video or metallics and co, just that I don't have to repeat all of that big list all the time. So I have seen some mistakes that people are making with those. A lot of times in reviews I've read or reviews I've seen videos about, or just like colored pages at the end of the month or other videos. These mistakes are made so often, and that is why I wanted to make this video to show you how very easily prevent those. So first of all, I use this little bottle with a dropper to get some clean water in my pans. And you see now here I put them in different angles so that the water definitely go everywhere, because especially with full half pans, when they are very empty and you are making like a hole in the middle, it will be very hard to get this good and nice results with the rest in the higher edges. So it is best to really wet the whole area with pans like that, so that you can prevent like getting rests in the upper areas. With bigger pans like these Gansai Tambi pans, it is not really so important because they are only half filled. So that's not the big problem. Here I use these triangular shapes just because I really like these triangular pattern on the pans and I didn't want to ruin it. So I'm just working in those for the moment. But yeah, especially with half pans, because they are very high and normally filled to the brim, then just hold it in different angles to let the water run in all the edges. Or if it doesn't work, like in this case, just take one of your brushes and pull the water in all the areas so that the whole surface is really wet. Then of course, very important, let it rest for a few minutes. I mostly wait around 5 minutes so that it is really, really good and soggy. So first thing, I highly recommend use brushes only for your metallics and co watercolors, because as you hopefully can see a little bit, there is glitter still in the brush. And you get this even with not out of the brush oftentimes, even when you wash it very thoroughly. So therefore, I normally use older brushes that are not really good enough to work with my normal watercolors anymore, but they are working just fine with metallics. So when they are sorted out not to use anymore for my normal watercolors, I put them to use for my metallics. And I don't know if you have seen it, but I put like a washi tape banderole at the end of the brush, so I know this is one of the glitter ones, just so I can easily see the difference. Then also I use the towel, I use the little napkin thing where I clean my brushes out. One of the side is used for normal watercolors and the other side only for the metallics and co. Just because also if you are putting off excess water from your brush and you have priorly used a metallic or glitter color and use the same surface, then you can lift off some of the residue glitter and then have it on your painting where you don't want to have maybe the glitter. Also, I use water, oh gosh, totally forgot the word, the cup there, the water cup I use only for the metallics. Just because you will have glitter stick in your water cup if you're using it in the same one. And you can lift it off when you're doing your next painting and have glitter all over your stuff. Especially if you live in an area where the water is very hard. I don't know if it is called like that in English as well. In German you say it is hard water if there is a lot of lime is it? I think. Kalk, it's in Germany, it's Kalk, but I think it's lime. Like limestone in the water. This white stuff, if you let water dry in a bowl on your windowsill for getting a little bit water in moisture in the air, then you often have this white residue, which is, I think it is called lime in English. And especially if you have water in your area where the amount of it in your tap water is very high, then this will of course leave a residue, visible or non-visible, and to that the glitter sticks very, very hard. So yeah, it is definitely best to use a separate cup only for metallic glitter and co. So you have seen the first swatch is very watered down. This is an effect I like to use, for example, if easiest example is you are drawing a princess and she has a very nice dress and you want like the silk to have some glitter or shimmer effect, and you can lay a super watered down one over on top of the painting you have done so far, just to get some glittery effect. But of course, in most cases you want a nice opaque metallic surface. And the second swatch is, you can see, nice metallic effect, but you can already see these white holes. And sometimes you can see these white holes only in different angles when you are moving your painting or your colored page, and then spot like these white holes. And I very, very often heard people saying you can't prevent them. That happens to all of us, and that is wrong, because you definitely can prevent them. And the problem why they occur in the first place is that people use metallic watercolors like normal watercolors. Means they're using it too watery. The consistency should be more creamy. And the second big problem is they add not enough color on the page. I do know that especially with some brands like Holiro or Finetech, especially if you live outside of Europe and it is an important brand, then it can be very expensive. And of course we try to use less color to let the paint last longer, but in the same time when you look at your painting, are frustrated that you have these holes. And the biggest problem here is, like I said, the consistency is too watery, and the amount of paint you put on the paper is not enough. You see here, it is very soggy in the first millimeters, and this one is, for my personal taste, a little bit too watery already. Normally it should be a little bit more creamy. But when you let your paint rest longer than like 5 minutes or so, often the first few millimeters really get like mud. And people often not really mix that into the water, just scrub on the surface a little bit. And that's also a problem. If it really is like mud, very soft, then just really mix everything in your water. I really use my brush and press down and lift all this stuff and put it in my water, mix thoroughly. And if you then have a very pastry-like, super hard, not really a creamy consistency, then you can add a little bit more water, of course. Especially if you put your paint down on the paper and you have like little crumbs in it. These are little crumbs that are not really mixed with the water, then the amount of water is not enough. Sometimes that is not dependent on the brand you're using, it is dependent on the color you're using, because it happens in all brands. Some colors like have the water sit on top and it just really re-wets the surface. Some have the water sink into and get this muddy consistency, like the first 3 millimeters is like a metallic mud in there. And sometimes you put a few drops of water in your color, let it rest for a few minutes and come back, and it looks like you never had put any color into it. There is no water visible because it completely sunk in. Then you have to, of course, put some more drops of water. But in those cases, normally the consistency of the color, if you go and dip with your brush, you feel that it is like mud. It is very soft. It is not the hard cake or pan anymore, because the water is there. It is just completely soaked in. Yeah, that is definitely something to keep in mind, that this can occur, and it doesn't matter the brand. I have it happen in cheap, expensive, handmade. It is really very dependent on the pigments which are used in the specific color. Normally all those colors are made with mica. Mica is made out of muscovite, which is whitish, grayish mineral stone. I don't know, I would have to look it up, which is ground, and then the powder is the glitter powder, which makes our metallics, our glittery colors. And those are coated with something else to get those different colors. So these something else pigments that are, or colors that are used to coat these mica particles, these make the difference. That sometimes it is completely soaked in, sometimes just the surface, and it's harder to re-wet. You maybe have to let it sit more than your 3 or 5 minutes. And sometimes you get this mud-like consistency. It really, really depends on the specific color. But nevertheless, you can see here, for example, the biggest thing I've read is about interference colors. These are the colors that look nearly invisible on white surface. You see it in the second row, the first two ones, the blue and the violet. You see it very colorful on the black surface. That's what I mean with, it is so important to swatch your colors always on a light and a dark surface. You get this effect with dark surfaces in general. It doesn't have to be black. It can be a dark brown, a dark gray, a dark blue, a dark red. The thing is with interference colors is that they are made that the light will be reflected off lighter surfaces, and that's why they look nearly invisible, but the light is not very, like the ray of light hits the dark surface, and not a lot of it comes back to us, and that's why the color looks so different on a darker surface. And I've seen so many reviews, videos and written reviews that said, "Oh, I'm so disappointed, those are so bad quality, they are nearly invisible, I sent them back, these are rubbish colors." And I've only used it on a light surface. And interference colors are made especially to look nearly invisible on a light surface and look very vibrant on dark surface. And these aren't the only colors that look different on light or dark surface. You have, for example, dual tone colors, which one of the most used versions is look gold on your dark surface, but another color like blue or lavender on a light surface. You have also a different result with chameleon or flip-flop colors on light and dark. So there are so many different colors that look completely different on a light or a dark surface. So it is really, really important to do swatches in light and dark. And here you can see in the outer areas where I haven't put as much color, you could clearly see that you're not getting this nice opaque. You're getting these, starting to seeing these holes again. So in the interference colors. Sometimes you have to add a second layer on your color if that occurs. With some colors it is just not as easy to see, like with a metallic gold it is very easy to see that you have really got a nice opaque layer. But with lighter colors it is sometimes not as easy. And even the best of us have in the end sometimes the problem that we have a white hole somewhere. And those you can only see when the color is completely dried. You don't have to like do a second layer over the whole area again. That you don't have to do. With all the metallic and coal colors, it is so much easier to just put a layer over the whole and then like blend the outer areas over the good areas around the hole, so that you not have an area that is visible higher than the rest of the color. Just blend it out. And that is completely fine. I do this whenever I find a white hole in one of my metallic and coloring. Of course, with time, those will be less and less, because you will get a feeling of the right consistency and how much color you have to put on a paper to get a nice opaque and shiny surface without any visible holes. But even if you have now mastered all of that, it can happen. It will happen not very often, but it can happen. And if that is the case, just do a nice second layer over the whole area and blend it out over the area where it is okay, just that you don't have like a visible higher surface where you close the hole. Hope that is understandable enough. I miss the word in English. Oh gosh. It's like there is a German. You plug a hole. For example, you can say this if you have a knitted jumper or so, and you have a hole, then you plug the hole. And the saying also goes in German, at least, with those kind of holes in a coloring. So it is, you not have to do a complete second layer all over the area, just plug the hole and blend it out so that you not visible see it in the end. It is much, much easier done with metallic and coke colors instead of normal watercolors. So, in the end, I hope you could see that, of course, not all of those swatches are now perfect, but I hope you can see the difference to the ones which are too watered down and have holes in it, to these nice and opaque swatches where you not have any visible holes and doesn't matter in which angle you're putting the paper. So my personal tips for avoiding the holes is, first off, the right consistency. Do not use the color as watery as a normal watercolor. More creamy. Normally, this creamy consistency with a normal watercolor, you would say it is not good because it is too sticky. You can't really draw a color nicely with a color like that with normal watercolors normally, but this is the consistency we want. Not like a paste, but like cream. Very nice and creamy. So first we need a creamy consistency. The second, of course, is add a generous amount of color on your paper. Not to be oh gosh, today my brain isn't working properly. I'm so sorry. Frugal? Is that the right? If you are not want to use too much color, so you are saving. This is what we don't want. You want to use a general amount of color, not spare your colors. To be honest, it often, when I do it, it feels wasteful because you feel like you are adding so much color. You could color like 5 pages with the amount of color you put on it. But if you really want to prevent those holes and you really want a complete, opaque, nice, shiny or glittery layer of your color, then you have to be a little bit more wasteful with the color than you would normally feel like that is okay. But in the end, the results will, in my opinion, be absolute worth it because it looks just so gorgeous in the end, and it is so much better than to have these holes in it. And I had these problems ages ago. I mean, I'm working with watercolor since 30 years, so it is a long time ago I had these problems with holes and stuff. But I don't know how you feel about it. You can tell me. I would love to hear. But in the past, I often just felt so damn frustrated that you look in one angle and it looks gorgeous, and then you like put it on your table and the angle is different and you see all the holes and it just looks hideous. And I was often so frustrated, and I felt like I ruined the page in the end, or I wasn't satisfied with it. So yeah, that's when I tried added more color, added a second layer, then worked with different consistencies and found out that it is actually super easy to prevent these problems. And it is so easy to get a nice result in the end. It is just a matter of consistency and a little bit more color on the page. That's it. It's so damn easy. And the results are like worlds apart from each other. And now I have always these very, very nice, opaque, shiny surfaces, and it doesn't matter the angle. It will always look exactly the same and opaque, with no holes in it, no areas where it is lighter than in other areas. You can do it too. It is super easy. Like I said, so main thing, consistency, creamy consistency, generous amount of color on your paper. Swatch all your colors. If it is a metallic interference, what else? Color on a light and a dark surface. So you can really see the difference. Does this special color look the same on a light or on a dark surface, or does it look different? Because colors that look different on light or dark surfaces, if you are layering it on your already done page on maybe some other colors, you will of course get different results, and it is good to know because those are effects you can play with. For example, I absolutely love to work with interference colors on silk. Not on real silk, but when I do a dress or a kimono or so, where say it is made out of silk and you have already done your light and shadows, and the shadows are very much darker, then you are drawing a pattern like on brocade or a jacquard fabric. Then if you are drawing the pattern with an interference color, you will see a different result on the lighter as on the darker surface. You can play a lot with effects like that. And with colors that look completely different, I mean, you have a lot more opportunities because you have like 2 colors or 3 colors in one if it looks different. If it looks like a blue on a light surface and like a bluish gold on a dark surface, you have basically 2 colors. And you could like do a complete area where you use only the light version or the dark version, and you have like I said, you have different colors in one color. So there are a lot of possibilities with it, and to know really that the color look different. And of course, it absolutely prevents you of thinking this color is rubbish, is shitty in quality because it is invisible. Yeah, there are colors that are invisible, nearly invisible on light surface, but they are absolutely vibrant on a dark surface. And it is meant to be like that, so that you have a lot of opportunities and different occasions to use it. And also a little tip from my side, use brushes only for metallics and glitters. Use a separate cup only for that. And yeah, you can use like a dropper to get your water into your pans, into your colors. I absolutely not recommend spraying colors in general. Just because most tins are made of metal and they are not all over enameled. So when you're spraying colors, doesn't matter if it's glitter, metallic or normal watercolors, your tin will rot very, very easily and very soon. So I always recommend using a dropper, a pipette, or your brush to add drops in your colors if you really want to prevent it. Normally, with normal watercolors, there are only a few hard to re-wet colors. I re-wet like Potter's Pink, Viridian, genuine Viridian, and Cobalt Violet, for example. Most other colors, in my opinion, don't need really a pre-wetting, but metallic and glitters and co, they definitely need to be pre-wetted all the time. Doesn't matter the brand, doesn't matter which, is it a metallic or a glitter or a interference or what else, they need to be pre-wetted. And for that, it is best made with a dropper or a pipette or something like that, or your brush with drops of clean water. Spraying first, like I said, ruin your tins and even plastic tins have like metal elements oftentimes in it. And the other thing is just spraying a little bit of water on a metallic color is not enough water. Like I did like 3 drops for a half pen to really get enough water on it. If you're just spraying a little bit, you will never get good results. So that's it. I really hope that the video was helpful and interesting for you, and I really hope that if you had those problems in the past or and that really did anger you or frustrated you, then I really hope that this video will help you to prevent those problems in the future. And yeah, I would absolutely love to hear your personal experience with metallics and co. Did you have problems like that, or did you already come to the same point where I am after various tries, that you find out that consistency and the amount of color will prevent you from it? Yeah, just let me know. I always love to hear from you. So thank you so much for watching the video. I really hope it helped. And as always, a thumbs up or a follow is very much appreciated. And yeah, really hope to see you soon in one of my other videos. Bye bye, take care of yourself and have a wonderful day.